of course, it's often said that the small and medium enterprises are the engine of economic growth. And in a developing country like Nigeria, there are several socio-economic conditions impeding meaningful development despite many interventions and policy strategies. However, small and medium-scaled enterprises, if fully developed, have been identified as being beneficial in alleviating poverty through wealth and job creation. Now, this sector can benefit any government that develops it to the extent that it has the capacity to grow a country's GDP, generate taxes and other revenue, as well as assist in bringing stability in the polity of a country. But how has this sector fared so far, particularly at the crucial time, or at this crucial time, especially with the COVID-19 outbreak? Well, I'm being joined by the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, A.K. Ubiji, who joins me here in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Ubiji.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
So how are the MSMEs bracing up? Or how are they going to fare in times like this, especially with the state of the global economy, not to even talk of the economic situation in Nigeria caused by the outbreak of the coronavirus?
Yeah, thank you very much. The perspective through which you look at this is quite good, because no country or no business can exist on its own or be an island to itself. A lot of SMEs rely on either raw materials, machineries, equipment, and all whatnot from different parts of the world. But you know, one thing that's quite peculiar about the COVID issue or coronavirus problem or challenge is that it tries to limit people's movement. In a dynamic business world, people must move. And if you have this type of restriction or a development that is restrictive, it's really going to affect a lot of things. Let me give you a typical example. We have one of our members who is into machinery fabrication and production. The member was built to travel February. He has paid the necessary fees, nearly ₦1 million. I'm just talking of this particular one. There are many others like that. They were built to travel to South Korea. Immediately, the COVID issue broke out. You can tell as well as I can tell that South Korea is one of the danger areas. You understand? Everything was put on hold. What they were going for there is put on hold. The same thing is applicable to a lot of other people who are doing different businesses. If it happens that way, what is going to happen to that businessman or businesswoman? Definitely is going to affect the progress of the person's enterprise. It's a big challenge. And if you watch television stations like the CNN, Al Jazeera, CGTN, and so on and so forth, you see what is coming out every day. As of last night, a lot of European countries are even putting restriction on movement of their citizens. Schools are closed. So it's a very serious issue. And we have to take it up seriously in this part of the world. So our SMEs are not exempted. Some of them do business that require transporting their goods to other countries. How would they do it? Or visiting other places, or even other people coming here. We just pray to God. You know, we believe so much in God in this country. May He continue to protect and guide us. But it's a serious challenge. And we shouldn't say we are isolated. No. Recently, something happened. A member of the National Assembly who came back from South Africa raised alarm. I don't know if you heard of it. Say, from airports in South Africa, this was what he saw. But here, he just came in, saw everybody walking freely. That's not a good development.
Of course, that has changed now.
We pray it should change. I know that National Center for Disease Control, headed by Dr. Hekwazu, recently went to China, he came back. It's a dynamic guy, there's no doubt about that. But we need more effort to make. You know, when Ebola came in, what happened? We are just very lucky it was contained. If not so, people would have been dying here like chicken. People would have been dying like chicken. But we pray it will not get to that extent in Nigeria.
We do hope that it doesn't get to that extent.
Thank
But
you.
talking about the small businesses now, of course, even if the coronavirus blows away today, the ripple effect that it has created will, be there for quite some time. So how will these businesses be able to sustain, this period?
Yeah, I may like to suggest an innovation which we can apply here. President Trump, whether you like him or not, he behaves in a very radical and radical way. But sometimes there's some sense in what he does. He has already said businesses in America, as far as this problem is there, businesses that are affected will be assisted. If you hear that from your government, definitely you would like to calm down. But here in Nigeria, I don't know, but we don't, the world is a dynamic place. So you may be surprised our government to think about it and come up to support SMEs. Because they really need, even before the emergence of coronavirus, they've been seeking for assistance, financial, name it. But this one is a huge challenge that will affect the health of the human resources that power these enterprises. Not just those in production, those who do the marketing, that requires moving about. So there should be a drastic solution to it. The government should sit down, think deeply. I'll give you an example. Trump came up with an initiative. Whether he has started implementing it, I don't know, but I know I heard him say it in one of his press conferences. So what is wrong in Nigeria is not different from other parts of the world. So we should also think through. Nigeria is a very important economy in Africa. And now we are talking about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. How are we going to be involved? If our SMEs are not well equipped to face challenges that put them in the forefront.
Now, apart from the ongoing coronavirus outbreak, what would you say are some of the major challenges that SMEs are facing here in Nigeria?
My sister, they are quite numerous. We've been saying this severally for how many years now? Access to finance is one of them. We keep hearing there is money here and there, this and that, but this money does not really trickle down the way expected to those that really need it. We know that nobody will carry his money and just throw it to the wind. No. If you ask commercial banks, they will tell you the money they manage is for their shareholders. And at the end of every AGM, they'll give account, which is very good. We are not saying throw away your money, but work with the SMEs hand in hand. What I mean by hand in hand is like, you know the SMEs scheme, Small and Medium Enterprises Equity Investment Scheme, that was introduced some years back under the CBN governorship of Joseph Sanusi. It was a good initiative. But under Soludo, he swept it aside. It's a good initiative. Why am I saying it's a good initiative? The banks will work with you in the company, in your company, hand-holding. And they have a certain time they will stay with you with their money. And then immediately they recoup their money, they leave you. You continue with your life. So access to funding is very, I'm just giving that as an example. There are many avenues. In fact, government have set up institutions. Look at the Development Bank of Nigeria. It's a very good institution that will help support SMEs, even though they don't lend directly. They lend through other subsidiaries like commercial banks, development banks, development bank institutions. Bank of Industry is there. Bank of Agriculture. I'm just talking of development finance institutions before you talk of commercial banks that are all over, First Bank, Fidelity Bank, and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm saying? So there are a lot of avenues through which funds, but the conditions put to access them, they are very, very strict. We used to, let's try and give them human face so that people can access it.
So what are some of these conditions that you're talking about?
Interest rate. You know what interest rate is now? I don't know how many SMEs. If you borrow the money you want to borrow from a commercial bank and they give you such condition, a lot of them will not survive it. So a lot of them are scared. While the interest rates in other climes is different. We've been talking about finance, even infrastructure. I don't know how you power this place. I'm sure you must have huge generating sets you are using. Because if you rely on public power system, you are in a mess. So the same thing is applicable. Look at the road infrastructure. A lot of the SMEs produce their goods, transport them here and there. Is our rail line really working? Some areas that, like in Lagos here, to Ogun State, in the southwest here, that the government is trying to refurbish the rail infrastructure. Fine. We should replicate it in other parts because these are the rail lines built by the colonial masters. They are not new. So all these things are the things that we use to make an economy function very well. Access to market. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement is a huge opportunity which we'll have to take advantage of. I'm telling you honestly, if you look at the document, the impact assessment that have been done, the groundwork have been done. These are documents that are looking at the future of Africa. Because we've toiled with our future for so long. Look at the future generation coming. Are we, all of us, be traveling to America, Europe, this and looking for greener pastures when we can create it here? Infrastructure is also important in that regard. How do you transport goods you want to go and sell in Kenya, in Egypt, in South Africa? If you go to Europe, for God's sake, I've been to Amsterdam. You can travel from Amsterdam by rail, enter into Germany by rail without entering any plane. You can do it by sea. What is wrong with us? We can do the same, but it's quite capital intensive. So Africa should be able to help itself. As we're helping our individual countries, we're helping the whole of the continent so that we'll make it a huge market that will be beneficial to all.
I know that there's a lot to be said in this regard, but we'll have to leave the conversation here. Thank you for joining us, Executive Secretary, Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, Ubiji. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.